His Eye is on the Sparrow. His Eye is on the Sparrow was written by Sylvia Martin, who was born in Nova Scotia in 1866. Her husband was an evangelist who traveled all over the United States. She accompanied him, and they worked together on most of the musical arrangements that were sung. In 1904, Sylvia was visiting a bedridden friend. Although discouraged and sick, her friend remembered that God was watching over each little sparrow and would certainly be watching over her. She reportedly quoted from Matthew chapter 10, "Are not two sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You're worthy more than many sparrows." Mrs. Martin was a poet and thought it would be a perfect idea for a poem. She jotted down the idea and by the end of the day had completed His Eye is on the Sparrow. The entire poem was sent to a well-known composer of that day, Charles Gabriel, who set it to music. The song was further popularized by its regular inclusion at Billy Graham crusades around the country. It's funny that this hymn should come to mind because it's not actually in our Lutheran hymnal, but it's still familiar to a lot of folks. I don't know why it's not included exactly. Came to mind for me because I've been spending a lot of time hanging out in the yard with the boys the past few days. We found this new app where you can take a picture of an insect and it will identify the insect and save it to a file for you. That way we can create a virtual bug collection without actually having to hurt any of the bugs, which Isaac was very concerned about. While looking for bugs, we've had an easier time finding birds than finding bugs, actually. So we've been trying to identify the birds as well. We've found tons of stellar jays, of course, and robins, juncos, grosbeak, crows, mourning doves, flickers, nuthatches, swallows, goldfinches, red-tailed hawks, on and on and on. We found all kinds of stuff. I've been thinking, wow, what an amazing world. What an incredible place. Look at all the variety, literally, in our own backyard. Variety of bugs, variety of birds, variety of plants. It's incredible. Got the idea how this song got stuck in my head. Then I was amazed to look up the story behind it and learned that it originated with somebody who was actually quite sick. Somebody who had reason to be discouraged, but instead managed to remain optimistic, knowing that she was in God's care. I thought about the words that have been going round and around in my head for days and realized they're words of reassurance, words of encouragement. That when things are stressful, when things are crazy, out of hand, when they're discouraging, as they are, I think, for pretty much all of us right now, as we're dealing with COVID and racial and political tensions and protests and all those things, we do well to remind ourselves what Scripture teaches. That God is watching over even ordinary backyard birds. How much more attention and concern must God have for you and me? I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. God's blessings.